Yeah, so
Okay. How do you describe the current situation of rural poverty in Bushbuckridge? Are there any specific challenges or trends that you have observed?
they, what I'd say is that rural areas face some challenges in terms of special development,
Uh-huh.
and Bushbuckridge as a whole has a lot of rural or is seen as a rural area, which experiences, rather would say, the same challenges, which would include a poor or aging in bulk infrastructure, a lack of basic service delivery, which has a negative impact on the growth trends, right? Because the younger generation tends to move from the rural areas to larger cities in terms of searching for diverse economic, uh, diverse economic sectors, and also just looking for better opportunities.
Thank you for that. And then, what are some of the main factors contributing to rural poverty in Bushbuckridge, and how are they addressed by government and local government, and the national government and the local government?
I think that's a very difficult one to respond to, but this is what one can say. Um, Bushbuckridge is a very high grant dependent area, which is a problem because it shows that if we having high grant dependency, and that shows the problem of high interest rates, uh, meaning that people do not have any much options for job opportunities in terms of different sectors. So we are very limited, and also in terms of skills development, people do not have this necessary skills that would afford them good and quality jobs. So, so yeah,
Okay, thank you for that. Makes sense. Can I continue?
yeah.
Okay. What strategies or programs has the local government and other agencies implemented to improve rural livelihoods and reduce poverty? Can you please provide some examples of their impact, if possible?
So the question is, are they what specific?
Programs has the local government and other agencies implemented to improve like the rural life
Oh, okay.
and reduce poverty in Bushbuckridge? And then if you know some, you can like provide examples of their, yeah, provide examples and their impact if possible.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's strategies or programs that have come with the government, but rather strategies or programs that have emerged from uh, n- non-profit organization as a way to combat poverty and also reduce the poverty levels in rural areas. I know of some of the non-profit organizations that are taking place. I think what probably there are four here around the Gothenburg area where people have resorted to gardening, uh, back or school gardening, where they use that to serve the needs of the people that are needy, the people that cannot really afford to buy food. So those gardens and also soup kitchens are done by churches and all of that, but not necessarily government uh, government programs. It's initiatives taken by people in the different villages and the different areas of the municipality, and that have taken a step forward to look after their own, as there is not much that is done by the government due to lack of funding for such programs.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for that. So as I move on, how do you ensure that the needs and voices of rural communities are taken into account when formulating policies or programs related to poverty alleviation?
Uh, I think the first thing that municipalities have transparency, looking at one of the stronger principles of being good administration, which some one of the subheadings is being transparent with people. So public participation. So public participation plays a major and critical role in terms of disseminating of information from the municipality to the residents, and also this assists them in making sure that their voices are heard through the elected ward and community members. So that is how the municipality ensures that the rural community's voice is heard, and also in terms of formulating policies or programs related to poverty and alleviation.
Yeah.
I think it's the responsibility of the municipality in terms of in terms of your local economic development policies, your setup plan, and also your agricultural setup plan, because Bushbuckridge Local Municipality is mostly the agricultural activities that are taking place and tourism activities that are taking place. So it's one of those things where we do have the policies, but the implementation of these policies are a problem. And people have taken initiatives to take it upon themselves to be the ones that are looking after their own people.
Okay, thank you. So moving on, are there specific sectors or industries or economic activities, like such as small businesses, that the local government is focusing on to create employment opportunities, improve or support small businesses and income generation, and improve the livelihoods in rural areas? How are these efforts being supported?
Um, it's how do I say it? I wouldn't necessarily say that there are specific sectors or industries,
Mm-hmm.
economic activities in terms of small businesses, because I think most of the businesses that are taking place, it's businesses that are well established, and you would find this in your shopping centers, all of that. So we see small businesses struggling more, especially with our current state of electricity with load shedding. We've seen a number of quite a huge number of small businesses struggling to keep up, not being able to pay rent, smalls, and ultimately close it down. So it's been quite a difficult thing to have, and also improvement of this small 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 businesses, more especially in the urban areas. And we've seen a lot of other shops emerging, which makes it difficult as the competition becomes higher, and means that people have more and more opportunities or options, and leaving one with an option to either reduce their selling prices or they lose their customers. So it's really a tough thing to say that the government is really supporting local businesses. And also with the tourism activities that are happening, there's a lack of marketing strategies ensure that these tourism sector or tourism areas well marketed for people who are not from the area to easily know this stuff. So it's we as a municipality we are really struggling in terms of economic activities or diverse economic activities that fit.
Okay, makes sense. So moving on, what measures are being taken to provide access to quality basic services like transport, water and sanitation, and other essential services in rural communities, which can contribute to poverty reduction? May you please explain in detail?
Yeah, basic service delivery is a challenge in not just Bushbuckridge municipality, but in many municipalities. There is a challenge with basic service delivery. Uh, the population growth or coal trends and is bulk service demand is higher than the supply. Municipality can afford. Right? Uh, Firstly, most people in the rural areas do not pay their taxes, so the tax base in this municipality is not enough to cater for all the people that reside in these areas. Uh, uh, we notice a trend of, or well, not necessarily a trend, but there's prevalence of uh, traditional authorities areas in those municipalities. I think about 10, if not 11 traditional offices in the same municipality, which makes it difficult for the municipality to regulate the use or the distribution of quality services in terms of transport and water and sanitation. Only a few towns out of the whole municipality receives municipal services such as water and sanitation. Most of the rural areas struggle with that. They only have like one tap where they have to share as a community, as compared to other areas where in each and every household there's like 200-meter piped water within the yard, or maybe within the 200-meter radius for water. So it's quite difficult to say that there are measures that are being taken because of, firstly, the lack of funding, and also how these areas are dispersed from each other. The there's, I wouldn't say prevalence of apartheid planning, but there's a lack in terms of proper planning for each of distribution of these basic services such as water and electricity. And in terms of transport, I think we're seeing a rise in terms of the taxi association or the taxi industry, but the road conditions are not in a state where it can accommodate for all these cars or the maintenance. People are not able to maintain these cars because of poor road conditions. So it makes it hard for the municipality to grow in that sense. Yeah, I think that it covers that. And then in addition to that,
Yes.
you asked what essential services in rural communities which contribute to a poverty reduction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it, it's one of those things where you see every man for himself. Everyone has to look out for themselves in terms of they, they have to fight survival of the fittest. People have to do what they have to do to make sure they have food on the table at the end of the day. But it's quite a difficult thing to say that measures that have been put in place to contribute towards poverty reduction. My bad, for that. So it's we've got lack of diverse skills.
Mm.
We do not have that much of skills or even when we do have those skills, there is not really much of job opportunities, which means that much of the youth have we seeing prevalence of out migration into the larger towns and larger municipalities which have diverse economic sectors. So we left with quite a huge number of people who are not part of the labor force, which means that poverty reduction is still a dream for the municipality.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Paul. Moving forward, how do you collaborate with other stakeholders, such as like NGOs and community-based organizations, to address rural poverty and improve the livelihoods?
For the municipality being vulnerable between, without funding, there's nothing that can despite. Don't have all the beautiful
Patty,
or policies, programs, but we left on there's nothing.
may you please repeat like what you said?
Oh, okay. So I was saying we lack of funding is a challenge with most
Yeah.
municipalities.
Yes.
You can have all these nice document state out how you want to reduce poverty. You have your objectives, goals, but without the funding, the necessary funding, and also instability, political instability, it's very hard to achieve that or work with non-profit organizations. Because how do you then give a helping hand if you yourself cannot have the impact? As there is a saying, that thing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So at the municipality, we need to have a full cup for us to be able to pour out into the other stakeholders that are working hard in terms of trying to elevate poverty in these communities that we live.
Okay. So are there any organizations involved? If yes, what are they doing?
I mean, there's quite a number of few organizations, non-profit organizations that are really trying to bring a difference in the community. Some of them deal mostly with the youth, and so they focus
What?
more on youth. Most of them focus on youth development only in terms of with the youth centers, where they trying to offer assistance to the youth in terms of bursary applications, job applications, and all of that. And as I mentioned, I think earlier on when we started, the people who have these small garden that they use to feed the needy. So it's one of the things where these organizations are trying or they enable us with the resources that they have in terms of assisting in poverty reduction.
Okay. Thank you for that. So what steps are being taken to promote sustainable agriculture practices and support small scale farmers in Bushbuckridge as a whole? Furthermore, are there any specific training or support programs in place?
Then, as part of the agri-parks programs, all districts in South Africa have, have what's this? Have all are participating in the agri-park program. So,
May you please be audible?
which can, okay. In Tanzania district, being one of the districts as a home to the Bushbuckridge Local Municipality,
Yes.
is also one of the districts that are benefiting from agri-parks program. The one would say the municipality is an agricultural municipality, and the Department of Agriculture tries its very best to offer training to local farmers. So not just training, but training and support local farmers in terms of what it seems, making sure that they have what they need for them to do small scale farming. It's hard to have that kind of support. If there's not very much income coming from those agricultural activities in place, but there are examples in the municipality where you're seeing small governments that are supported by the municipality. We have an office in Tulama Hashi, an agricultural office, where there are programs. There is map planning, technical college that also offers programs related to agriculture. The nearest being University of Mpumalanga that also offers programs that deal with agriculture and sustainable development. So there are those kind of programs, although for some they are far-fetched, but there is that step towards that direction. So meaning that we are getting somewhere, and in due time we'll be able to reach out to most of the small scale farmers and small scale businesses that are agricultural related. We'll be able to have oh,
Okay. So, do you know anything about the extent of local entrepreneurial activities and income generations activities in rural areas, particularly in Bushbuckridge?
so now I would say that there's not really much entrepreneurial activity, especially the economy of agriculture, but because as I said, he's still making those skills, need more skill development program that will enable people to engage in this entrepreneurial activities. But for now, there's not really much.
Okay, so moving on to the last question. What strategies they have to support the entrepreneurial activities and income generation in rural communities?
I think that ties in with
Mm.
this person, but we need to have a skills development center that will enable people to have the necessary skills for small businesses, and also taking part in agricultural activities. The rather at a speed where they can say that they're supplying to their stores. I mean, when you have retail shops, you have in the shop right, your pick and pay that your spot. I mean, if we have enough skills, we can have gardens that are supplying to those big stores. That would mean that they also contributing to the GDP of the district and how to move
Right.
it's the province as a whole. So we need to focus more on how do we equip our people, how do we equip the youth more especially at the cream of the country, how do we equip them in such a way that they're able to contribute also into the growth of the team economically.
Okay. Thank you so much. We've come to like the end.
It's only a pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.